breaking generations of chronic stress. Who's with me? Hey y'all, so I just got in from teaching a somatic stress class to a group of young women who have a history in foster care, and I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity to teach that class because it's a person who also has history in foster care and was a foster care case manager. I'm just glad that I get to share my knowledge and expertise with young women who deal with like anxiety and, you know, other things that come with that life experience. If you hear grumbling in the background, that's my dog. I really wanted to come on here. I know, you know, this is random. Different background. I'm just standing here. I really wanted to talk to y'all about something. I was talking to my friend earlier and I was telling her about my experience with my hair falling out. Earlier, I was washing my hair and my hair was falling out again. And I'm just like, dang, man, what's going on? And I was talking to, there's no way he's that loud. Bookie. Okay. So I was talking to the fibroid healing coach that I have been working with, and then I shared on Instagram that I was dealing with some skin issues, and everybody was like, is it stress? It's stress. I think it's stress. And then the fibroid healing coach was like, it's stress. And I'm like, but y'all, my life isn't stressful. Like, and I said this in one of my previous videos, I don't feel stressed, right? So I was talking to my friend this morning after I got out the shower and washed my hair, and I was like, I don't know why my hair is falling out. Like, I don't know what's going on. And she said, is it stress? And I'm like, I don't feel stressed. And so she was like, maybe you're just doing a whole lot. And I'm like, but I don't think that I'm doing too much. Sometimes I'm looking for more stuff to do. I feel like I'm not busy enough. And that's where it was. That's what it was. We don't have to constantly be busy, right? Constantly filling our days and our plates up with more stuff to do because we either don't think that sitting still is productive. And I know that sitting still is being productive. I take a lot of downtime for myself. And so, okay, this is what my life looks like, right? I'm a manager at a company. I'm a manager of 30 people. I'm balancing 2 roles in my career. Then I'm married and I have a dog. So I'm managing my house, shopping, cleaning. I have an amazing partner. So I'm not doing everything by myself. I don't do dishes and laundry and stuff like that, but I am doing a good bit of housework, you know, grocery shopping, managing like what are we going to eat for the week, making sure the dog has his appointments, just making sure that we have things that we need, but also managing that balance with someone else. And that helps too, but it's still something that I have to keep on my list of things to do daily because there'll be times where it's like, oh snap, we ran out of this. Let me run to the store and grab this. I'm also an older sister and granddaughter, and the eldest daughter role comes with a lot, and I'm the only girl. So it's like, there are things that I'm responsible for in my family that I maybe shouldn't be, but it's just, it is what it is. My grandparents are getting older. You know, there are things that they need that men just don't see it the same way. They're not as nurturing, as sensitive, and attentive, but I'm far away from my family. So I'm managing relationships from a distance and have always had to kind of be an overseer for my younger siblings in a way and managing their navigation in the world. Even though that's not my responsibility, these are just things that I'm unlearning, trying to navigate their life experiences as adults because we don't have parents. So that's a thing. My business, I'm a massage therapist. I teach somatic stress classes twice a month, and then I do YouTube 4 times a month. So that's editing, filming, scripting, ideating, all the things. Plus I have a private massage therapy client. Then I'm planning events. That takes up a lot of mental space and stress. Okay, my camera died and I had to make me something to eat. Because that's another thing. Being so busy that you forget to eat or drink water, right? And I'm rushing like, okay, I just got done with this thing. I need to go ahead and take care of this next thing. Slowing down and just being like, all right, take a moment to actually take it in, you know? So that's when I started reflecting on like, what do I do for my me time? I drink tea, take a bath, go for a walk, journal, cook, watch TV, and color. But if I'm being honest, I haven't really been making a lot of time for a lot of those things, even a cup of tea, because I'm just so drained from all the other life things. Like, yeah, and so my goal for the next couple months is to really balance my schedule and refine what my day-to-day looks like so I can get back to me, like really just reeling it in. And then relationships, so friendships, again, my marriage, date nights, girl date nights, birthdays, holidays, friendship, graduations, weddings, all of those things, money, the state of the world, like the state of the world. So it's just like there's always something to be hyper vigilant about. And my body, I'm always bracing for what's next. What do I need to prepare for next? I gotta be ready, you know, gotta be on guard. And we actually shouldn't be living our lives like that. And I do feel like my dog is doing this on purpose, because like he'll be really quiet until I start talking. So Frenchie owners, please send me some prayers. So I say all this to say that we've normalized stress. I'm looking at my to-do list and I'm looking at my list of what my life looks like. Because that was her question. She said, what does your life look like? Or what did she say? She said, what does life look like outside of being online? And I'm like, I got a full life outside of being online. I get online to scroll because I need an outlet. I just need to breathe sometimes. And then there's that. The dog is overstimulating. So I don't even know how people do with multiple kids, with children. And that's also something I'm navigating. Health, life, children. We want to bring in children, but like, look at the state of the world, you know? So there's that. And it's just like, wow, man. And you know, there are people out here who manage more than what I'm managing with, you know, less. I don't know, less time or less resources. I'm not sure, but it is a lot, you know, and trying to have some structure, I think, is really what it comes down to. Having more structure if you have a busy life. If you are a busy woman trying to manage stress, anxiety, health, all of the things, I think the most important thing to do is to have structure and boundaries. That's one thing that she said, that she has like really good boundaries. And she runs a strict program, and I'm learning a lot from this new friend of mine. And so just learning to get out of my head and be more present through doing somatics and just, you know, just trying to do all the things. But even with that, I'm in school to become a yoga teacher. It's just like, and I was telling her, I'm telling her everything that I have on my list. And she was like, please stop telling me how much stuff do you have to do? Because even my mind is getting, you know, overstimulated. I was like, dang. You know, trying to make sure, thinking about what to eat every day. Listen, we have so many things to think about on a daily and manage on a daily. So one thing that I'm going to be doing to help with all of this managing stress, I'm going back to therapy. I have scheduled a therapy session for next week so we can go over how to manage these levels of stress, because all of the things that I am managing, it should be doable. Like, there are people out here who are, like I said, managing and doing a lot more, like running $1 million companies and as parents and wives and traveling. So I think it's just a matter of sleeping better, having structure and boundaries around my time. That's not something that I've been really prioritizing. And like my diet, we're doing really good with the diet and like exercise and everything, but just really embodying and implementing everything that I'm learning as a somatic coach, implementing it into a full-blown lifestyle. And I don't know what that looks like being a corporate manager, you know, definitely navigating that space as well. Trying to best utilize my time overall. So yeah, if you're somebody who has some tips or tricks, let me know in the comments. And then, you know, I was trying to host events and all of this. I'm just like, let's reel it in a little bit until we can get us figured out first. I'm gonna do something in May, but other than that, I think I'm going to dial it back and just teach stretch classes from now on until I'm done getting my yoga certification. I'm going to make a list of priorities. I have my gratitude journal, my serendipity journal, and my intimacy journal, right? In one of those journals, I'm going to make a top priorities list of like a daily top priority list. And these are all digital right now until they're physical. That's another thing. I'm working on bringing my journals into the physical. And I know y'all probably listening to this like, Story, that's a lot, Buki. You're trying to do a lot. And my homegirls, they'll be like, one thing at a time. And I always say like, how am I supposed to do one thing at a time? That don't even make no sense. But as I am navigating, living more of an embodied, slow life, I have to learn, you know. I am learning, and it's a journey. Getting my salad. Yeah, learning. So the girl I was talking to said that I need a better nighttime routine. But I'm sleeping fine. So I don't know. We'll see. We will definitely see. But the point of this video was that we've normalized stress. And I think that a lot of us have normalized stress because that's what we've been shown. I personally didn't grow up seeing women take time for themselves unless they was like kicking it, having a beer with their homegirls. But my mom was never home. My grandma was never home. They was always at work. They was always finding something to do. Even now, my grandma is in her 70s. She can't not sit down. Like, she cannot sit down. Every time I call her, she's out doing something. And I'm like, girl, go sit down somewhere. And she's like, I can't stop moving because then I'll get old. And I'm like, oh, wow. And to think that that is the idea that our elders have, like, I can't sit down or I'm going to get old. One, ain't nothing wrong getting old. And just because you're not being busy doesn't mean that you don't move. Like, you can still keep yourself active. Like, my mother-in-law, she gardens. She sits at home with the dogs. You know, she goes for walks daily. She don't really be, you know, ripping and running the streets like my grandma. And she lives a very peaceful life. But she's in the South. My grandma's in the North. And it's, you know, so it's just interesting to see how two women who are of the same generation navigate busyness and time. And so seeing that there are different ways to go about life. Like, it's okay to just chill and just not have anything to do and to just let it be quiet and to just sit outside in a chair. Like, that's stuff that I would see on TV, but then it's not something that I just seen. Like, oh yeah, just sitting outside, waving at the neighbors, enjoying the sun, drinking some water, No, we were always told, get up and go find something to do. Maybe it's their fault. Maybe because they wouldn't let us be still. You know, growing up, it was always get up and find something to do. Go make yourself productive. Go make yourself busy. Maybe we didn't need to go make ourselves busy. Maybe we needed time to just sit in our room and color. You know? Because the goal is to change the habits and lifestyle that we've learned through generations. If my mother was pregnant with me in a state of high anxiety, and her mother was pregnant with her in a state of high anxiety, and then what was shown to me when I was born was living in a state of high anxiety and chronic stress, then epigenetics says that the fetus will be imprinted on and live a life of heightened stress and anxiety. And so I'm unlearning generations of chronic stress. Who's with me? And you know something? Even taking the time to chop up these vegetables and make this salad, instead of saying, I didn't have the time. My husband keeps saying that to me. He's like, you keep saying you don't have time to do this. You don't have time to do this. You do have the time. You just have to manage your time. Whew, God will really put some people in your life to really mirror you back to your behaviors. Because my homegirl, she was like, you need to sit down somewhere. You need to log off. I was like, who are you talking to? But she was right. She was right. And I'm with you when you're right. I'm with you when you're right. And like I was telling the young ladies today, well, I should add an apple to this too. And you know something? I just keep rambling. Another thing that made me realize that I need to slow down, the other day, I asked my husband to cut me up an apple with peanut butter. And instead of chopping the apple up in just 1, 2, 3, 4, he took his time and thinly sliced the apple so that I could have thin apple slices and peanut butter. And I was like, wow, you could have rushed the process of cutting this apple, but you didn't. You took your time and you cut that apple. And for me, that just said so much. That said a lot. And I was very appreciative of it, but it also showed me a lot too about how I live my own life, because I would have just chopped it in a force and kept it going. But now I've been cutting my apples into thin slices and not rushing when I'm doing things, not rushing when I get up in the morning, not rushing when I'm brushing my teeth, not rushing through my walks, not rushing through eating, actually taking my time. I have this bad habit of standing in the kitchen while I eat, just trying to rush through the process of eating. No, I'm gonna get over here and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna focus on eating my food and I'm gonna enjoy my food without my phone. I've been taking walks, silent walks with no podcast. Another thing too that we really deal with in my house is my ADHD diagnosis and rushing through things and not completing tasks, working on executive functioning. Just a matter of learning how to slow down and paying attention to things. Like, I know that I move from tasks quickly. By giving myself enough time to move through the task, I can give myself more of an opportunity to kind of put things away or put things where they need to go and not get overwhelmed by what it is that I'm doing. Also, having a list. Now, one thing that was so impactful to me when I heard it was that our homes look like what our minds feel like. So if your mind is in a state of chaos, your outside world will look like a state of chaos. But one thing that was really, it hit me today. When it comes to organizing, I'm really good at organizing the big stuff. I know where to put the big stuff. But I struggle with the little things. Finding a house for this pencil or this ticket or this battery, you know? And that's exactly how it is in my head. I can list out all of the big things that I need to do. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I gotta send this email. Then I go to send an email and it's like, oh snap. I gotta, you know, draft up this PDF to send the email. It's like, that's exactly how it works in my mind too. And so I'm working on that now that I've made that connection, because I'm like, in my mind, I know how to compartmentalize the big stuff. It's the little things that become overwhelming. And then I'll start having a panic attack. And it's just like, you know? And so with that, and even just like with the stuff happening in the world right now, it's like if you're really tapped in, it can cause you a lot of stress and overwhelm. Like there's a lot of sadness going on in the world. And I think the one thing that is just helping me is just like control what you can control. Pray about the rest, do what you can, volunteer where you can, support where you can, but you control what you can control. Don't allow things that are happening in life that are outside of your control to really sit in your body. Even if you have to like just journal about it and talk about how angry it makes you, how sad it makes you, just how it makes you feel, but don't hold it in. And I think I'm very grateful for somatics for teaching me that too, because I will just sit and cry like, oh my gosh, this is so sad, you know? And there's just so many emotions that come up with that, but learning how to process through those emotions and controlling what we can control and doing what we can. So yeah. In this next season of my life, I'm not going to be overwhelming myself with places to be, things to do. I'm going to be very intentional about what gets my time in this next season of my life. And as I'm navigating what potential parenthood looks like, I have to do that. Because I don't want to be a stressed out mom who's rushing everywhere. I don't want my kids to see me like that. I don't want to see me like that. I don't want to see me like that. Like I want to have the experience of being a well-rested woman who knows how to return to herself and engages in healthy habits daily. And so that is the journey that we are on. This season, I feel like life, the year of the snake, shed a lot. It shed a lot of relationships for me that depended on my emotional capacity for me to bleed a lot or to just lean on me for emotional stuff. And now I'm in a season where I'm surrounded by people who don't need me as much, or I'm just not allowing them to need me as much and not feeling guilty about it. I had a lot of guilt-ridden relationships before. And so now I'm allowing myself, and I have the space to establish better boundaries. And I'm grateful that now I'm in community with people who allow me to have those boundaries and respect them. And there's no love lost when I set those boundaries. And it's just like, oh, okay, you can't make it. Okay, cool. See you around. You know, it's not no, you know, like, and I'm just like, wow, this is awesome. You know, and my cousin was telling me about how friendships are supposed to work and how relationships like should work. You shouldn't have people who are solely dependent on you emotionally, or like who are so emotionally dependent on you. And I'm like, huh, that's very interesting. So it's like, yeah, you want to be there for your people, but also you shouldn't be an emotional surrogate. So I'm unlearning this, because I've been an emotional surrogate in my life so much, and I've always put myself and my feelings and my wants and desires to the wayside to accommodate others, and it did result in me losing a lot of relationships. But we move on and we move forward. This life journey, it is definitely a journey of lessons, of love, life, and all that other stuff. So I'm gonna stop yapping and go and finish my salad. Happy Women's History Month, y'all. We went for a walk, a womb wellness walk So that was great. We're going to be doing those monthly, every first Sunday of the month. I'm starting a movement. All of this talk about hormonal health and reproductive health. Yeah, we're doing this real work in real time. And, you know, I want this to grow and, you know, be big. But I ain't rushing it. Taking my time and just letting things happen as they do. So I'm about to wrap up in my warm blanket, eat my salad, and yeah, I've got yoga tonight. So that'll be a good pause and wind down. So if you are somebody who listened to this video and you heard yourself in this video, I just want you to give yourself permission to slow down. Life will still be there. And even if it's not, you know, even if you slow down and you do miss opportunities, that's okay. Your life is worth so much more than rush time and opportunities. Sometimes there are things in our lives that don't allow us the opportunity to slow down. And I get that. But then there are other times where it's just like we're just rushing through the motions that we're not even experiencing the things. We're literally just going through the motions because it looks good or we think that we should, and we're not even really experiencing the things. You go through it and then you're like, dang, I don't even remember most of what I experienced, you know? So take your time with yourself as we're moving into spring. Take more time to sit with yourself and be present. You know, we're doing a lot of spring cleaning. That goes for habits too. I'm definitely spring cleaning my habits, you know, refreshing my morning and night routine, refreshing my boundaries and limits. So yeah, and I'm excited to talk to y'all more about that in a more structured setting. But for now, I will see you all next week. Same time. See you there.